Hey guys, Terry White here, photography evangelist for Adobe, and it's my pleasure to give you a first look at running Adobe's photography programs on the brand new Surface Book. So I've got Lightroom CC on the Surface Book, which also has a touch interface and the great Surface Pen. So with the Surface Pen, I get pressure sensitivity and I can make my photos look better with this great new device. So let's dive in and take a look. So now we're here in Lightroom CC where I've got a travel photo, and I'd love to take a look at that photo and make it look a little bit better. So let's go ahead and take it into the loop view just by hitting the letter E on the keyboard. We can just simply click or tap to go in, to zoom in with the touch interface as well. And now that I have this photo here, you can kind of see, well, the buildings are leaning over a little bit. And this is typical of tourist or travel photography because no matter where you're taking the picture from, the angle is probably going to be off a little bit unless you're like in a helicopter shooting directly at it. So in this case, what we'll do is we'll just simply go over to the develop module. Once we're in the develop module, we can go all the way down to our lens corrections. And in lens corrections, I have this great new feature called upright. And what upright allows me to do is it lets me pick between various modes, and auto is usually going to work best, but sometimes you might want to play around with the different ones. So for example, I can do level. That one made it better, but still not great. I can do vertical. That made it much better, but then it gave me a cropping situation. I can try full, and that's the best one so far, but auto in this case just simply nails it. It gets it just right. So with a couple of clicks, or a single click in this case, if I had just started with auto, I went from a building that looked like it was kind of leaning over, bad perspective, to one that's corrected with a single click, or a single tap. And again, I can tap to zoom in, I can pinch and zoom, move the photo around with the touch interface in the Microsoft Surface Book. All right, so now we'll go back. And our next photos are, again, travel related, the Eiffel Tower in Paris. And depending on the lighting conditions and what's going on outside, many of you have probably taken a photo where you've been challenged with maybe a window in the background, and whatever's in the foreground becomes a dark silhouette. And the way we correct for that is with HDR, or high dynamic range. Well, that's a great new feature that's built into Lightroom CC. So I can select these three photos. I can right click on them, and I can even go in and do photo merge to HDR. So once I choose photo merge to HDR, the Surface Book does a great job taking advantage of the GPU, accelerating this process, and shows me the composited image, which I can now merge. So that's taking three raw files, merging them together from my camera to create the new raw file of the combined images. Very fast, as I might note here on the Surface Book as well. Now that I've got this composited image, I'm not done because I can take it over to the develop module and I can do even more with it to make it look better. So for example, just adjusting simple sliders here in the basic panel of the develop module, I can go in, for example, and adjust the vibrance. I can adjust the saturation, which we typically do on landscapes to make it look a little bit more saturated. I can also adjust the clarity and just really make that image pop. Of course, we can go in and adjust things like the exposure, maybe tone it up, tone it down. And I haven't met a photo yet, especially a landscape or a travel photo, that couldn't benefit from a little dehaze. So we'll just go ahead and adjust the dehaze on this photo, making those clouds even more dramatic and pop even more. So you can do this to your taste. And again, this is a completely non-destructive workflow. So starting with some images that were kind of washed out on a not so great sky in Paris, we made an image that looks a lot better with the Eiffel Tower. And we can even go more or go into more detail and take it further. But with that, let's go into our last one here, where I have an image that I took back in 2010. And I was just never really happy with this image. We can go full screen on it. And it was just, again, too much haze, just a really bad hazy day, middle of the day, worst time to photograph. But let's go in now and take a look at what we can do. As a matter of fact, I want to detach the screen and go mobile. I want to turn this into a tablet. So I'm just going to hold down the detach button for a couple seconds. And as you can see, it says ready to detach. That means it's disconnected, and I can just simply lift this off and this becomes a tablet. Okay, so again, Lightroom's asking me if I want this to be in tablet mode right now. If I put it in a tablet mode, then it will give me gestures that I can use to adjust my photo. But before we do that, I'm going to say no, because what I'd love to do is go into the develop module with this. And again, I can pick this up, move it around, and let's go use the surface pen with the adjustment brush. And what I'd love to do is not dehaze the entire photo just for effect. I want to dehaze part of it. And that's where the surface pen comes in handy, because it's pressure sensitive, and I can go in and start to dehaze my photo with the surface pen only on the parts of the photo that I want to not be hazy. So we can come down and take care of her outfit here. And look at the amazing job that we can do, not only with Lightroom CC, but more importantly, with the pressure sensitive Surface Pen and Surface Book or Surface Pro. All right, and again, that non-destructive adjustment is ready to go. So for example, if I wanted to make it less dehazed or more dehazed, I can just simply use the slider to adjust it to taste. So now that we've done this adjustment with the Surface Pen, I do want to go into tablet mode to do a few more gestures. So over here on the left-hand side, I've got the tablet mode button right in Lightroom as part of the interface. And now I'm in a complete tablet mode with the Surface Book detached. So at this point, I can go in, I can slide left and right to get to my various local adjustments. So if I wanted to do local clarity, for example, I can go in and I can adjust that adjustment that we already did, and I can either make it with less clarity or more clarity, just with simple gestures. I could also go in and do shadows the same way. So if I wanted to adjust the shadows in the photo to make them darker or to make them lighter to bring out her hair, I can just do that with simple gestures. So Lightroom is amazing on the Surface Book, because not only do I get the benefit of having a GPU accelerated dock that works just like a laptop, but I can also detach it and use the Surface Pen to do fine adjustments and zoom in and get it just the way I want. Or I can use the local adjustments or regular adjustments in tablet mode here in Lightroom. So as you can see, we've done just a few things with the amazing Lightroom CC on the amazing Surface Book and Surface Pro. You can take advantage of these tools by signing up for the Creative Cloud Photography Plan at Adobe, and it's been my pleasure to show you these amazing tools making our photos look better on the Surface Book. My name is Terry White. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you on the next one.